Hello, everyone. Really excited to get started. Before we jump into things, though, you'll really get the most out of this if you're following along with me. It's cloud.redpanda.com. I'll provide some code snippets here in just a few minutes that'll make it kind of easy so you can just copy and paste. It'll be a nice, easy workshop to follow along with. We're also going to use AWS kind of towards the end, but it's not as important if you don't have an AWS account that you can use. All right, so let's jump into it. Uh, who am I? My name is Chandler Mayo. I'm a developer relations lead here at Redpanda. I've kind of got my two truths and a lie, I guess, here on this slide, but I think I made it pretty obvious. I've been working in data streaming for a while. I first kind of got into data streaming, doing stuff with IoT, and then later on mobile gaming, and then lots and lots of other stuff. But being in developer relations, I am constantly building tutorials and demos and making videos and doing workshops. So you can find me on our YouTube channel and on our socials pretty much all the time. So if you're not subscribed to our YouTube or our LinkedIn or even our TikTok, you can check us out on there and you'll find me releasing lots of cool demo videos that you should definitely follow along with. When I was first interviewing with Redpanda, Alex, the CEO, asked me why I wanted to work at Redpanda, which is always one of my favorite questions. And my answer that I gave to him was that it has unlimited potential of what you can do with it. With data streaming, you can build so many different solutions to do so many different things. And as a content creator, as an engineer, that's a lot of potential. That's super exciting. So I'm really excited today to share some of what I've been doing and learning with you all. So, who is this presentation for? Well, this is for engineers or developers that are maybe building with agents for the first time. Again, this workshop is going to be pretty simple to follow along. And let me roll back a bit. So I was recently at this hackathon a few weeks ago with my friend Peter Corliss. You should definitely follow him as well. Super smart guy in the industry. We were watching people build stuff with AI agents for the first time, and we had a lot of assumptions about what they might be creating. We wanted to see them use some of the new things that we've been releasing at Redpanda. But one thing I saw a lot of that was really interesting was the first thing that developers were doing, which is just using Redpanda as a source of truth, as a log for what the agents are doing. Um, AI is kind of like this black box, right? You expect certain behaviors if you give it certain inputs, but that's not always what happens. And so there's a story to tell here that you need to understand in order to debug that is not as simple as with like deterministic software. So we quickly just saw this issue popping up everywhere where it's like we need to log what agents are doing and we need to understand how they're behaving. So today I'm going to take a look at how we can solve these problems with Redpanda. So observability matters because for agents, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Again, like I said, agents can fail in like really non-obvious ways. And so the best first step is going to be to log and trace everything that you can, whether that's the inputs that the agent's receiving, the decisions that it's making, the tools and API calls that it's performing, the outputs and the actions that it's performing, as well as the obvious errors and failures as well, when they're obvious, of course. So having transparency through logs, that's going to let developers debug issues and understand the reasoning and improve the reliability of the software that they're making with AI agents. So this is kind of the first thing that you really need to think about. So again, agents they're doing all kinds of weird stuff, and we need to answer what happened with good logs. I have recently been building my own agent demo. This is, don't look at this slide too much, or put too much thought into it. But the idea was that I would have multiple agents coordinating in a way where it's driving real devices in real life to perform actions. So in this case, it's a factory, and those car controllers could be little virtual or real forklifts. And they're all communicating over data streaming. So you see these little dotted lines passing through this square. Well, that's where Redpanda helps, is with connecting all these different things together. So we're going to be looking at how do we build all of these little pieces and use Redpanda as our logging backbone. I may jump back to this slide, probably not. But I am really excited to build out this solution. So stay tuned. Again, follow our YouTube. You might see some really cool stuff. So how does Redpanda help specifically? Whoops. So Redpanda is going to be our durable ordered log. And it's great for that because that's what Kafka was originally built for. And Redpanda has been rebuilt from the ground up to be completely Kafka API compatible. It's built in C++. It doesn't have all those silly Java overheads like Zookeeper or JVM. So at its core, Redpanda is extremely high performance and perfect for having a bunch of different agents, all trying to do things at the same time and streaming lots and lots of data with really high throughput. And of course, we also have Redpanda Connect, which is our stream processing and connector framework. So not only do you have a place to send all of this data, but you can continue on and move that to over 300 different connectors and different services to do analytics and more observability with your favorite tools of choice. And of course, I'll get into that more later on. So wait, hold up though. Why would you want to use Redpanda for this right off the bat? Why wouldn't you just I don't know, log it to a file or a database? Like that seems like a pretty simple solution. And that might work well at first, but it's not scalable. And one thing that we see over and over again is that agentic systems get complicated quickly. They have a lot of interactive components. And so if you can stick everything into one place, uh, you can reduce that bottleneck and then you can get it to lots of other places very easily. So you don't have just this one pipe that is your single source, like everything can fan out. So yeah, you want to decouple through streaming. That's what I like to say. So send it to your alerting systems or your dashboards or your batch processors, whatever it is. You want to log it once and be able to use it many times in a lot of different places. All right. And one other thing before I move on, Redpanda makes it super easy to redact information. So let's say you're working with agents that are working with PII. Recently, I was working on a healthcare-like demo where we had different agents that were simulating nurses and doctors. Of course, you don't want to just stream SSNs or things like that all willy-nilly. So using Redpanda Connect allows you to very easily redact information. And again, this is something we're seeing a lot. I'm sharing all of the good secrets with you guys today. So what are we building? Well, we're going to walk through a very simple demonstration of an AI agent producing logs, and we're going to use Redpanda Serverless as the log broker. And when I say really simple demonstration, we're going to build everything inside of Redpanda Serverless, but you don't have to, and I'll get into that later. So by the end, we're going to have a tiny agent running that is emitting events into a Redpanda topic. We're going to be able to view those events in real time, of course. And then we're going to cover the next steps of using Redpanda Connect to filter that data and send that out to various outputs. Specifically today, I'm going to show you how to send that data to S3. But again, we have over 300 different connectors for Redpanda Connect. And if you can't find what you're looking for, there's probably a way to make it work. And I said this at the beginning, but this demo is totally designed for beginners. I'm going to take the pace kind of slow, so don't worry if you've never used Redpanda. But here's the thing. This is all being recorded. So if you get lost or you decide you want to do this later, or maybe you just want to watch, that's okay too. You can come back. So before we jump into just building stuff though, I did want to highlight some of the tools that I've been seeing used for observability. So I pinged a whole bunch of the SEs across the team, and I wanted to know what are customers actually using so that I could share it with you all. So I wanted to highlight a couple of these, but again, you can send this data anywhere. These are maybe just some first things that you should consider if you're not already doing logging. So step one today is that we need a data stream for our agent to work with. So we're going to have, in a real life, you're going to have agents running in multiple places built with multiple tools and languages. So with my factory demo, I had a vision agent, and that's actually running locally on my laptop with, I built it in Go. So it's completely independent of Redpanda, but it's streaming over Kafka. And we expect, the reality is you're going to be building with the tools that you want to use. But today, I'm going to show you how to do it in Redpanda Connect. We're going to start with just creating a simple data stream using Redpanda Connect, and then we're going to build an agent we're going to build another data stream to represent our agent. So again, sign up for Redpanda serverless if you haven't already at cloud.redpanda.com, and we're going to get started. So go to cloud.redpanda.com, go ahead and fill out your details, click that sign up button right here. You'll get a pin sent to your email that'll let you verify it. Super easy. So I'll just sign into this brand new account I just created for you guys. So we'll all be at the same place. And you'll be dumped into a page that looks like this. So a cluster will be created for you. But I want you to pay attention to this How to Connect section under Kafka API. And you'll see this Bootstrap server URL. This is going to be pretty important. You're going to want to save this to use it later. So we're on the overview page. We've got our Bootstrap server URL. Now let's flip over to topics. Again, we're going to kind of use this list on the left as our checklist. We're going to go to topics. And you'll have this default hello world. We're not going to use that today. What I want you to do is create two new topics, an agent input and an agent output. And to do that, you just want to click this orange create topic button, put in the name there, and then we're not going to worry about these other values for now. Just go ahead and click create, and then restart that process for the second one. So once you've done that, we've got our two topics that we're going to use today. And now we need to configure the secrets that we're going to use for our data streaming and our agent. So let's go over to Secret Store. And you'll see that I have 5 secrets here. Actually, we jumped ahead a bit, but that's fine. So we have our AWS keys that we want to configure, as well as our OpenAI key. So notice the ID value that I'm using here. Make sure it's the same if you're going to be copying and pasting the snippets from the code I'll share in here just in a moment. And then we also have a username and password. This is for a user that we'll create here on the security tab. To create a secret, just click on that create secret button, fill out that ID. Again, make sure that ID is matching the ones that I have here if you're going to use my code, or update the code, and then set the value. In order to create this user, go to the security tab. You'll see this will drop right into the users tab, click create user, give it a username, create a password, click create, and then pop back over to Secret Store and stick those in there too. So once we've done that, the next step is we're going to create our data stream, like I said. So you'll want to go to here. Let me flip back to this. So step 1B, let's provide some data for our agent. So I have this link here. It's Chandler 767 Streamfest 2025 snippets. If you go to that, you'll see that we have 3 snippets that we're going to be using today: our agent simulator, our data generator, and our stream to S3. So we're going to start with this data generator snippet. And you want to copy this code. This is what we're going to use. And I'll walk through this in just a moment. So to use this, you want to create a new Redpanda Connect pipeline. So you'll see this nice create pipeline button. Let's go ahead and click that. And that'll take you to a page that looks like this. And go ahead and paste in that code there. But before we click start, let me tell you what's going on. So with Redpanda, at a minimum, with Redpanda Connect, you're going to want to have an input and an output. So in this case, what we're doing is we are generating some data every 5 seconds. That's just a count of how many times this script has been run. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're just counting, and then we're streaming it out to our agent input. Now, in a real situation, this will be data coming from sensors or from other agents or from really any source that you could imagine. Maybe in my factory demo, this is the input from that vision agent, or maybe it's input from a sensor array or something like that. And I need my agent to make decisions based on it. So again, we're generating data every 5 seconds, just incrementing a counter, pretty basic. And then we're going to stream that to our agent input topic. All right, so we've got this. Live demo time. Let's see if we get a data stream. So I'm going to click start, give that just a moment. And it's running. Okay, So how do I actually know it's doing anything? Where's this data going? Well, if you go back to the Topics tab and go to Agent Input, you'll see that we have data flowing in. And so every 5 seconds or so, we'll get a new row here. So perfect. Now we've set the stage to give our agent some data to work with. So now let's simulate creating an agent with Redpanda Connect. So what we're going to do is take that number that we're getting, and we're going to feed that to OpenAI, and we're going to have to do some math, and then we're going to use Redpanda Connect to turn that back into a data stream and ultimately land that in AWS S3. So let's build this side. Again, if you want to get the snippets and follow along, they're at this URL. So we'll go back over to the GitHub. We'll look at Agent Simulator and go ahead and copy this code. Now, to create another pipeline, we're going to go to Connect, click on our favorite orange Create Pipeline button once again, and that's going to land us on something that looks like this once you paste in the code, except for we have something new this time. So I said before, at a minimum, you had an input and output, but in this case, now we have a pipeline processor, and this is where we're going to send that data to OpenAI for processing. So we're listening to our stream, that agent input topic. So we're getting our numbers, and now we're passing them on to OpenAI. Now, this is the same place where if you had PII, you could use our processing language bloblang to do lots of data manipulation. Not going to show that here, but I highly encourage you to look that up. It's super interesting. In this case, I just have a prompt asking this to pick a number between 1 and 500, and then add those two numbers together. Ignore the system prompt for now. We'll come back to that. And then we're going to output that to our agent output topic. So we'll be able to see ChatGPT do some stuff and then give us a result. And let's hope that the behavior is what we expect. So I'm going to click Start. Give it just a moment. And there we go. It's running. So once again, to verify that it's running and kind of the whole point of this workshop, let's go check our topic and use this as our agent output log. But wait a second, these aren't numbers. These are a bunch of fruit. I must have been hungry when I was building this agent. Actually, I could really go for a banana right now. Let's go debug our agent. So we'll flip back to our agent simulator. Oh, and it looks like I left this little system prompt in here that I was testing. So we can just take that out, of course, and then update our agent, and it'll restart for us. All right, so let's go get our fruit out of this topic because I don't want all that data in here. So to do that, we have this nice delete records button. So click that, choose all, high watermark, and delete records. All right, so we'll give this a second to populate because once again, it's running every 5 seconds. And we'll refresh. There we go. So now we're getting our random numbers, our numbers back from our agent. So our agent is now taking data, it's processing it, it's outputting it again. We're able to verify all of this by using Redpanda topics. But I need to store all this logging data for later. Maybe I'm going to visualize it. Maybe I just want to store it. I'm not sure. So step 3 is we want to connect this data to more tools, because this is where the real power is going to come in. It's by integrating these logs with various observability and analytics tools. So we're going to use Redpanda Connect to pipe that data into the right places. So again, Redpanda Connect includes 300 different built-in connectors to lots of different popular systems, and it only takes a little bit of configuration to do this, as you're about to see. And you can stream that data from your Redpanda topics to anywhere, really. So I did also want to share some of the tools that you might use and what they are. I'm not going to go into this slide too much, but I wanted to put this here just in case you were curious, like what I'm thinking when I say tools and what those different connectors are going to do. All right, so like I said, the next step is we're going to send that data to S3. So one final snippet for you to get from this repo. Let's pop on over there to do that now. All right, and we're going to go to stream to S3. And this is the code that we're going to need. So go ahead and copy that. But before we put this into Redpanda Connect, let's go on over to AWS and make sure that we've set the stage here. So this is a brand new AWS account that I just set up. I put in my credit card number, of course, to get this running. But it's brand new. So if you wanted to follow along and do this, you can absolutely do it with a new account. All I did was go to S3, went to general purpose buckets, and I created this new bucket called Agent Bucket Store. Now, of course, this wouldn't be a live demo if I didn't show you that there's nothing in it before we started. So just so you know, this is totally empty. All right, so let's get some data into S3. So once again, we've got our code snippet. Let's pop back over to Redpanda. We're going to go back to Connect. Create a new pipeline, once again, with my favorite orange button. And stick our code in here. Now, let's talk about what's going on again. So just to recap, we have some data. Could be anything. Could be sensors. Could be other agents. We are sending that to an agent. That agent is making some sort of decision, doing some sort of thing, creating some sort of workflow, and then it is outputting that data. Now, the data we're outputting in this case is just the result of what the agent is doing, but you could also be logging, what's coming in, what the agent is, what tools it's using, all of that stuff, and you should be using or logging all of that stuff. But in this case, just that number for now, and that number is coming to this agent output topic. And then our output is AWS S3. See, doesn't Connect make this so easy? So I have my bucket name in here. I have my region, as well as the credentials that we populated earlier over here in the secret store. And one final thing I'm doing that you should note is that I'm putting a path this will be created when we start the stream in S3. And then I'm setting the file name just as a timestamp. Pretty easy. All right. So we're going to click Start. Give this just a moment. And right now I have that first pipeline, creating data every 5 seconds. But, you could easily be having this run every 500 seconds if you wanted to. Redpanda will happily let you do that and is totally built for large volumes of data streams. All right, so this is running. So after giving it a couple seconds, we should have some data in our bucket. So here we go. Ta-da! It looks like this is working exactly as we want it to. All right. So that is the basics of creating an observability pipeline with Redpanda. Of course, it's the very basics. There's a lot more that you're going to want to do. This is just a very, very simplified approach, but let's talk a bit more about some of the best practices. So again, you want to implement this early and often and try to log everything that you can. The more data you can collect, the easier it's going to be to develop. Don't make it harder on yourself by storing to local files or something like that. You also want to make sure you're using structured logs. You might have noticed that I was just streaming like a number or the name of that fruit. It's probably not best practice. It's going to make it a lot harder to work with that data later. You also want to decouple logging from analysis. So Redpanda makes this completely trivial because once you log that data into a topic, you can fan that out into any tool you want. Also, make sure you're considering filtering and privacy. Logging is great, but if you're storing private information, credit cards, social security numbers, all of that stuff, you can put yourself at risk before your product even gets off the ground. So when you're setting up this logging early on, make sure you're considering these things. Also, don't forget about data retention and costs. There's no point in storing logs if the data isn't going to do anything for you, so don't pay for it either. Thanks for joining. Again, my name is Chandler Mayo. I'm the Developer Relations Lead here at Redpanda. I would love to hear from you directly about your thoughts around AI and observability, what you're building first, please, share this stuff with me. I really want to hear it. Also, follow us on socials. Uh, you're going to find me there a lot. I'm the one posting there quite a bit, especially short video content. So please, come say hi, come reshare my videos, come learn with me. I love sharing Red Panda. This is what I do. And thanks.